Hey, it's me. Ooey told me, the guys with the five eyes that you see. And today I'm gonna make really quick video talking about kind of like the hypocrisy that a lot of men have gotten going on in regards to us having sex like with a lot of women, and then also trying to backtrack and kind of tell women that if they want to be valued by men, they shouldn't be giving their bodies to us and all that stuff. I'm gonna explain a little bit more in the video. I just wanted to get the point across so you know what I'm talking about. And I'm gonna have another video coming out a little later this week, which is gonna be a reflection video about, this issue that I'm thinking people are having with sex and how we value sex. So two of the stories today I'm going to be talking about. I've talked about Casilla. I don't know what her name is, but I say her name incorrectly on purpose because she's a coward who killed herself over this guy here, Jerome Boatneck, and did it on her son's birthday, no less. And he's a 6-year-old child. So she basically has, in a sense, ruined the rest of his life. Because your mama does that to her, so you would never get over it. It will always be with you because your mama's not there. And also talk a little bit about this lady in this video. And I got this video from Undead Chronic, who I may not agree with everything he says, but I mean, hey, gotta thank him for bringing this to my attention. So basically, you can see in its title, woman commits suicide after struggling being unmarried and without children by 30. And yada yada. Basically, she killed herself because this dude kind of broke up with her. Yeah. Oh, fearing. Okay. So it may not even be like confirmed he was going to do it. Maybe they just have some issues going on. But it says here, she had like 3 breakups before her previous relationship with him, and she is basically getting a little unnerved, cannot overcome her previous sadness, and felt Anton looking like would leave her. And because she's 30, but women just realize that maybe it's more dangerous to have kids past like 27 or whatever. But you can still push kids up until like 40. Now saying though, it's gonna be more dangerous considerably the older you are. But when you're 30 and you're in good shape and good health, you should still be able to pump out a good, like, healthy kid. It's not optimal, but it's not the end of the world. And this chick, as I've said before, she killed herself because he did break up with her. Wow, she actually looks pretty. She looks like a pretty nice, like, she looks like on a like more nicer, naturally nicer, good looking side when it comes to models as well too. So it's not like she could have not gotten her dude. I mean, she probably could have gotten her soccer player if she tried. But anyways, the point I'm trying to get across over these 2 women killing themselves is because of the value of sex we have. It's very skewed. And I'm going to say it like this. A lot of guys on YouTube and stuff are basically telling guys to go out there and get it with women. And the only ones that I can really see having a point with this are the ones that are just like, basically just do it for the rest of your life. Don't settle with these chicks. But to me, like, even when those dudes, they're basically saying give up on women. And then you've got the dudes that will say, 80% of the women want 20% of the men. They all want to have sex with the, with the high value males and be a high value male to have sex with them. And hey, women, listen, if you don't have sex with, the only way to really value yourself and not be like the rest of these women is if you hold your body count and don't have sex with us and refrain, and then we'll give you more leverage. But I mean, in the end, really though, since we're just trying to fuck chicks, when we fuck you, we're not going to really stay with you. So you're basically going to waste yourself with us and stuff like that. So that sounds a bit more hypocritical and stuff. Essentially, what I'm getting to, again, I don't know why I keep saying that, is all of these basically contribute towards the sexual degradation of this country. And as we know, basically, as soon as this country started getting more sexually free, mostly through the feminist movement, but once it got like that, the whole country just completely fell off a freaking rock. And you could look at the black community. The very fact that there are more and more and more single mothers day by day means more and more of us are having sex and not building families, and now we're down in the dumps. Now America is down in the dumps. You know what I'm saying? What's all this sex worth? Again, that's like the point I really want to get to. What's all this sex worth? You know, like, just to repeat the fact that I said, like, a lot of men, you know, they make at one point they make you feel like you can't get any women because all these millions of women only like a couple million thousands of guys. Then they basically motivate you to be in that club with these guys to smash all these women, and then we'll tell you in the same like sentence that most of these women are not the kind of women you want to settle down with, but they're pretty much all that's out there. And the ones you want to settle down with, well, you're not really going to know to settle down with them because, one, unless they're a virgin, you can prove it, you're not going to believe them. Even if they actually legitimately have a body count of maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, you won't believe it, so you'll smash them as such. And it basically destroys any advice they have for women because you can't be telling women to try to hold and control their bodies and then tell men to go use them for their bodies. It just doesn't form well. That's the issue. And see, when women don't value sex the way they do, they end up in psychological situations like this chick and like this chick, you know, because they keep having sex with the wrong kind of people they don't really love, or they don't understand these people don't love them. And it hurts them when they have to deal with the reality that just because a dude smashes you doesn't really mean he loves you. And these women don't get taught this and stuff. The culture as a whole values sex is really weird, right? Because if we valued sex, right? If we really valued sex, as I am going to express in my next video, basically, you would keep having sex with as few people as possible. And if you needed that extra sex, you would go towards a specialist. And what's that? That's like an escort. You know, if you're a woman that wants to keep her body valued, sacred, or whatever, you would refrain from sex. But if you want to go out and have that sexual experience, you would be an escort. Because for me, there's no point in having sex with a lot of guys, right, who you don't get satisfied by, or who leave you, treat you like trash and stuff. Because most of the time, like, if you like these guys, you generally don't get much out of it. So you might as well get paid for it, because you're wasting your time and your body on these men. You might as well just turn it into time well spent, because you're getting something actually out of it. And for the guys, you're wasting more time and resources than you think, because not many of us can actually get girls without having to spend something, whether it's money on food or on clothes or you know, gas money, just getting to the girl, Ubers. You're spending valuable time and money for women that you don't want to see again after a day. And really, what is that worth? I don't think the only pleasure I feel like that's worth being short-lived like that is food, in my opinion, because you could just be doing something else better. And when these women don't value their bodies like this, because as we know, when it comes to sex, women are more cerebral with it, so it sticks with them more. You end up like these girls. This girl cannot take it that this man left her, and this woman was so paranoid thinking her man would leave her that they ended their own lives. And that's why lust is one of the 7 deadly sins, because sex for beings and creatures like us who are highly cerebral, the most cerebral on this planet, we're the most emotional. We feel and understand our feelings more, but also our feelings get to the point where they can't be understood by us, because our thought processing is so advanced. We can overthink. So sex isn't just something, and my last point on that too. Sex is for reproduction. A lot of guys like to preach that men, we have seed, we're supposed to get, you know, seed up as many women as possible. That's why we want to have sex all the time, and women only, they only get one guy to impregnate them, so they be focused on one guy. But that's to defeat that argument. The hypocrisy in that is, well, a lot of men are not actually, a lot of men don't actually have babies. So we're having sex, but we're not getting these women pregnant. So we're defeating the biological purpose of that narrative. And for women, that actually gives them more of a reason to have sex with multiple men because most of the time, sorry, people outside, most of the time when people have sex, usually you don't get that person pregnant the first time. You're either really unlucky or lucky when it happens that one time. But usually you need to have sex multiple times to get pregnant. So that means that woman doesn't immediately get pregnant by you. But basically she needs to keep smashing until a man gets her pregnant. Then she sticks with that guy for the protection. And then after she has a baby, she smashes him or smashes someone else until they give her another baby. Okay? So my point is, I feel like for everybody, we need to just chill out and not worry about sex. Have sex though, because I can't just say have, like, it's just a vice like anything else, right? It's like wine or drinking. I mean, that is drinking, smoking, playing games. But see, the thing I don't get, the thing I find so funny about people when it comes to sex is we'll consider everything else an addiction but sex. If you're a dude or a girl, I don't think it matters, and you have sex with 60 people in a year, for women, we say they have issues. For men, we say they don't. But really, how is that not looked at as sexual addiction? If you're having sex almost every other day, it's constantly sexing. Just because, biologically you're able to impregnate multiple women, well, you didn't impregnate all them women. So what are you really doing? And I know that's kind of hard, but look at it like this. If I were to drink every day, you would call me an alcoholic. If I were to smoke weed every day, you would call me a pothead. But if I have sex every day, I'm the man. What's so special about sex? See, that's what I'm saying. Like, these guys want to act like that when guys have a lot of sex, it's just some of us. For women, it's much more worth that. But no, it's not worth anything. And you're wasting a lot of time and resources for a huge risk. Because even if you're like strapping up all the time, if you're having a whole lot of sex, that doesn't mean you ain't gonna get burned. I mean, you might not, you probably won't, but there's a chance you will, because remember, condoms aren't 100% effective. And when something's not 100% effective, the more times you do stuff, like, you increase that little 1%. That 1% can go to like from 1% to 5% just because of the increased rate of which you're doing that. And like I just want guys to, like, we need to talk about the negative sides of sex more. Because, for example, when we do that whole 80-20 rule, we never, like, we like to point out that, like, so it's unrealistic for most women to get men because they only want like 2/10 of the men and stuff. But how about we also say these women, waste their bodies away and their time away going after guys as close to that, or just figuring that none of the guys will match up to that, so it's not worth anything. Like that 80-20 rule is not a good thing. Because, I mean, shoot, look at our population, our birth rate. It's going down. And only in the reason that we created this 80-20 rule in the first place is because we have so many guys out here not focused on anything but just having a place over their head and sex. It's kind of reduced the incentive for the average woman to really even get with the average man, because the average man is not achieving. Now, again, that's a socioeconomic problem, though, because I mostly blame something like that on our government mishandling our fortune and our money, because now it's basically made just a guy having a roof over his head really a necessity more than, just the bare minimum. So, yeah, I get that. But a lot of guys, I feel like in the manosphere or whatever, red pill, whatever community, they try to play off like sex is just something to a guy, which it is for like a lot of the guys out there that, either got it like that or really suave. But you're making sex more valuable than what it really is, because it's too much of an incentive for a lot of your followers. They feel like they need sex to a degree. They'll say they just want to bang a lot of women, but it's like, nah, bruh, you feel like you need that. You need it in your life. You're no different than this chick, and you're no different than this chick. Because if you don't get it, you're going to be feeling horrible about yourself. The same way for them, because on the flip side, for relationships for women, they couldn't get relationships that they needed, and they killed themselves over it. Not saying guys would do that, but it's just sex. There's so many better things to do than sex. I when I was having sex, I improved my wardrobe game. I got into cryptos way more. Dude, you give me a choice between doing Kim Kardashian and a PlayStation 5. I'm just gonna take that PlayStation 5 every time. That PlayStation 5 gives me endless amounts of entertainment. The sex, it's only 5 minutes and then I'm done and I get sleepy. You know what I'm saying? That's not really worth much to me. And we shouldn't make it worth much to most of us. In a casual sense. Like, we got to focus on that more so in an intimate sense. So go out and have sex as you want, but temper yourself. That's really just what I want guys to do and understand. Temper your sexual appetite. Calm yourself. Because it is an addiction. These guys will make you think, a lot of guys out there will make you think just because, they'll make you think just like having sex with a whole lot of women is good. But it really isn't, because you're showing a lot of lack of self-control, and you're doing it because you will waste a lot of time and money doing that. You are going to have to spend some serious bread to smash a lot of women. Unless you're a true homosexual that just is a sociopath, you're not going to be able to just do this for free. It's going to come with a cost. And you're going to be disappointed a lot of times. And think about it like this. Think about a lot of those dudes, they be disappointed and smashing a lot of the girls they smashed. And the girls goes crazy and now they got her on her hip, or she gets her pregnant, or they get an STD. Like, when they could have easily just kept it in their pants and think about something else. That's why I'm glad, like, I have a wife now. I'm out of that mind state. I don't feel like I need that. I feel clear. I'm clear. Okay? I just feel clear. But, that's not to say, guys shouldn't have sex. So I'm not saying that to anybody. It's not that nobody should have sex. But I personally believe that most women who want to have a lot of sex should be escorts, because at least they're getting paid for that. And for a lot of guys who want to have sex, they should definitely try to have escorts, because you're not wasting your time, and you're not wasting your money. You're buying a product that makes you feel fulfilled. But again, for the women's side, escorting, I can't say do that too much. Don't do that too much, because by necessity, you have to do it a lot. But for the men, I would say don't spend all your money on it, because again, addiction. Okay, because the women on the women's side, they're doing it for work at the cost of their bodies. But for you, it's like buying drugs and stuff. Don't buy a lot of cocaine. You'll get addicted. And that's simply what I want people to see. A lot of sex is sex addiction. Because think about a lot of guys who smash a lot. If you notice, they can't help but to keep smashing. They can't stop themselves. They always need it. Even when they're older. It's something they don't get tired of. It's an addiction. It's not a job. It's not rewarding. Because the ultimate reward for a man in sex is a child. And you're not producing a lot of children. Or if you are, a lot of the times it's coming at the cost of a bad baby mama, or you're just not taking care of them. So really, what's it worth? Casual sex ain't worth none. It's not. It's not something to be proud of. Especially if you want to be like, this is what men are built to do. Well, we're built to do that. Then what's there to be prideful in? What's the impressiveness of it? Especially when guys want to say, oh, girls are easier now than they've ever been. So guys don't even got to really work at it like they used to. So all these guys talking from that viewpoint, they're basically running their own argument against themselves, because the sex is worth nothing, and it's easier to get now than ever. So why are we even entertaining ourselves with this? There's no value in it anymore. It's like gold and silver to the dollar. The dollar, you could just print that easy as heck. Has no value because it takes no work. Gold and silver, you gotta go find it. You gotta go mine it. And then you gotta do chemistry and stuff to make it turn into feasible money. There's a cost with it. There's a process with it. So these guys are saying these women are out here and they're easy and they're doing whatever. And then it's okay for you to just go out there and get that. Then you're really just wasting your time on something that's not worth anything. But that's just a little bit of what I'm saying today. Kept it shorter than most of my other videos. Dropping another video going more into depth into that and my story of not having sex for multiple years in my adulthood, because I only got 5 bodies. So I'm practicing what I preach. I haven't been with a lot of women. Tried to, but I was young. Eventually I overcame that and just learned to be involved in more stuff. I guarantee you folks, if I had as much sex as I could have had, I'd probably be broke right now. So anyways, see you guys later.